Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Tonight, in the Hyper Summer Series, we're taking a trip up north to Oxford Plains Speedway. We've got 150 laps of super late model Misfit Racing League action for you tonight, and it'll all be right here on V-Speed. I'm Sky Shrek, and joining me in the booth tonight, working double duty, is Bradley Cooper. Bradley, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were at the high banks of IRP, but Oxford is a very, very different racetrack. What's it going to be like for these drivers?
Well, you've got blind corners. You don't have a wall to come in and gauge where you're going to go into that next turn. You've got curbs on the inside. You've got dirt mounds lining the inside of this pit wall. So it's got obstacles everywhere. It's dangerous. And if you get sent off into the outside, you're into the sand trap. It's almost like golfing around this 3/8 of a mile speedway.
Yeah, comparatively lower banking here to last week, 9 degrees in the turns. It's an old track, opened back in 1950. You can tell that because it doesn't have a wall for most of the way around the racetrack, which is going to be something to watch for these drivers tonight. Also of note, the track temp tonight is looking at about 115 degrees in our warm-up session right now. Some drivers saying that feels like up to 500 degrees with how these super late models drive around here. We're going to take a quick look at our schedule here for this season. We started out at 5 Flags before 2 weeks ago heading, as mentioned, to IRP. Tonight, race 3 of 8, we're at Oxford Plains. Before next week, we'll go to the Bull Ring at Vegas. Going to the unfortunately now defunct Myrtle Beach for our 5th race of the season. South Boston will make race 6. And then we'll go to one of our longer tracks on the schedule in Thompson Speedway on September 14th. And we'll close out the summer series to end off September at Hickory Motor Speedway. Oxford Plains was a great race in the Touring Series season. We're expecting it to be a great race tonight. Let's take a little bit of a look at our points. Coming into this race, and P1 is William Hale. He has had some dominant runs in this series, has been a great driver, has not gotten the win yet. In fact, neither has second place Corey Bodie, but both of those guys have always been up front, have always been battling for these wins here. Victor Fluger, bit of an underdog campaign to be sitting in P3 right now with Aaron Harden 4th, Jake Grout in 5th. Justin Crowe 6th, Matthew Knott 7th, Christian Peterson 8th, and our winner from last week at IRP, Michael Wiseman, sitting only in 9th in points at the moment. Grant Brown 10th, Aaron Johnson 11th, John Leday 12th. Your winner from the first week of the season in 5 Flags is Deegan Smith. He sits there in 13th position, but he was not in the field last week, and he is not in the field this week, so he will continue to fall down those standings. Back from there, it's going to be Hudson Geiger, Tanner Bethea, and Jake Sylvia to round out your top 16. We've got a good field tonight, 21 cars, but we are going to have some penalties here to keep an eye on for some of those drivers who we've seen up front. It'll be an EOL off the start for Michael Wiseman, Jake Grout, Matt Urban, Corey Bodie, who, as you saw there, is 2nd in points, and Frank Barbary as well in the 26th. So we're going to have 5 drivers going to the back to start this race. Some really good ones like Bodie as well. That could shake up the order quite a bit tonight. We're going to head out of the warm-up session, and we'll be able to get the grid rolling for you here in just a second. These drivers taking time to grid up in their cars as we get ready to get going here tonight. Starting on pole. Now, this is an invert of 9 tonight, so your top 9 cars will be reversed, but first in qualifying is going to be Aaron Johnson in the 78, Michael Wiseman 2nd in the 1. Alex Grates qualified 3rd for tonight's race in the 00 machine, and Jake Sylvia is your 4th place qualifier in the 118. William Hale, your points leader, qualifies P5 and will start P5. Tyler Muller qualifies 6th in the 2. Christian Peterson will start 3rd tonight, qualified 7th in that 71 car. Tanner Berge qualified 8th in the 35, and your pole sitter with the invert is going to be the 88 car of Dylan Delaney, rolling off in 9th tonight with the 82 of Matthew Knott on his outside.
11th spot goes back to Brad Carpenter. And then you have Aiden Grates in 12th position. 13th goes to Brandon Atkinson. John Leday will start in 14th. 21 cars out here with Frank Barbary. Brandon Elvis in 16th position. Colby Luca and Aaron Harden will go back here for row number 9. And that top 20 with Ryan Kuhn, Corey Bodie with that EOL electing not to take a time. Jake Grout rounding out the field here tonight.
And I'll tell you what, that might be our top 3 at the end of the night, all coming from the back of the field. Corey Bodie, Jake Grout, always lights out in these Misfit Racing League races, not to mention Ryan Kuhn starting back there as well. First time we've seen him in the Summer Series. He made rare appearances in the Touring Series, and he dominated when he was here. So that is a driver in that 72 car that we will expect to do well here tonight. We got some patriotic paint schemes in the field here today. Winner of Best Patriotic Paint Scheme will win a solid $25 here when all things are said and done. You can see that 0 car right there. That is Alex Grates, currently lined up in 3rd. Rocking that red, white, and blue car. Maybe a bit of an early favorite to claim that paint scheme prize at the moment. And a little further back in the field, you've also got Jake Grout in that 61 car rolling off in last. Got some USA colors on the hood of that thing, all down the sides as well. And then if If you look a little further up the field, we've also got Aiden Grates in the 27 running a pretty similar paint scheme to Alex Grates in the 00. He's got red, white, and blue all over that thing. Those are your 3 entrants for that competition. I believe on the first or second caution here tonight, we will announce the winner of that paint scheme prize. Well, my pick to win tonight, if I had to take one, is going to be Ryan Kuhn. Bradley, who are you looking at right now?
I'm joining a little bit late in the season, but I'm interested at the points leader here tonight. I think because he's not had the best of luck with the victories, I think tonight's the night that he's going to pull it off. I'm going to go with Michael Wiseman.
Michael Wiseman, all right. Came closer. He got the win last week, so we'll see if he can get another one here tonight, jump himself a little further up the point standings. He will be rolling off from 8th once this invert is all said and done, and we're going to take a couple laps here before the race starts so that we can work this invert, get this rolling here prior to the jump and prior to the green flag. Up front tonight on your front row is going to be Dylan Delaney in the 88. Good effort from him. We'll see if he's able to make his way up the standings here tonight. Try to hold on to that pole position. He was 10th in the first race of the season at 5 Flags, was not here for IRP. He'll look to get some points tonight, try to bolster his season with a front row starting spot in this race. On his outside, we're going to have Tanner Berge here in that 35 car, a driver who has had some pretty awful luck this season. In fact, he only ran 1 race, and he finished 20th and got a penalty. So it has not been easy going for that 35 car, but this is going to be a chance for him to try to right the ship this season, get a good result. Pace car will pull off out of 4, and as we head onto the straightaway, we're green and we're already making contact for the lead, and our leader is already around in turn 1. Dylan Delaney off the pole, didn't make it to the first lap.
From the pole to the pole into turn 1, and those mounds I was talking about in the pre-race, guy got a hold of that car. He was stranded, and he had to take it to pit road.
They didn't even get going there, and they were already making contact before we even hit that start-finish line. It's a DriverTees.com replay here for these 2 cars, the 88 and the 35, rolling off. I mean, you'll see the contact pretty shortly. The moment the pace car pulled off, these 2 were absolutely going at it. They wasted no time at all in making contact during each other even to start this race. And you'll see it here when the pace car moves off. By the time we get the green flag, they're already on each other's doors. And the 88 just gets loose. Contact with the 71 car of Wiseman there sends him into the post.
And that's
what an angle there.
I mean, yeah, you're beached at that point. You can't do anything. And that was the factor I was talking about, Sky, with those mounds, is once you hit that contact in iRacing, there's pretty much immovable objects here on the simulator. Road racing, we have at Sonoma, we have tire barriers that don't move. And here at Oxford, we have dirt mounds that hold the light poles up in the air. They don't move. There's no physics for sand or dirt. So once you get stuck on those contact points, you're done.
And Dylan Delaney has left the session, so your pole sitter won't even make it a lap. It'll be an EOL for Tanner Berge. Lights are back on, so we're going to do 1 more lap here, but it'll be a new look front row at the front of the field. We're going to have Tyler Muller in first on the inside. We're going to have Jake Sylvia P2 on the outside. So those are some cars who have gotten a kind of a boost here with that top 2, both dropping back to the field. Wiseman had to go back to 16th after that accident. The leader gets to choose their lane here in the Summer Series, so that is Tyler Muller in the 2. And as I assume everybody will take all night, he wants the inside. This is a 1-groove track, and it's the one that works the best. We'll try it again here off of 4. Tyler Muller takes the green flag at Oxford. And Sylvia's already trying to get there. You can see that from the bumper cam on Tyler Muller. He's not getting away at all from that 118 machine of Jake Sylvia, pushing hard and trying to make that move happen down here as we work through 1 and 2 on lap 8. Tight battles all throughout the front of the field. William Hale, your points leader, is trying to get in this fight as well, but he's battling with Aaron Johnson, who has had a very bad start to the season and is looking to reclaim some points here tonight.
You're watching all the way through. This field going to start to settle out single file. The bottom is where you want to be. Brad Carpenter stuck on the outside. He's got a freight train with the 72. Ryan Kuhn going by. And also the 44. Corey Bodie going to go by. These two drivers side by side, 3 wide behind them.
That Ryan Kuhn car did not set a qualifying time, and he's already got that thing working up in 11th right now. He is going to be a real threat in about 25 laps if he can get up to the front of this field and try to contend for the win of this race. Never a driver to be counted out. One, I believe, with over 10,000 iRating here, and someone we are definitely going to have to watch coming down to the end of this race. We're single file here for most of the field. Everybody's going to be running the inside line all night long. Jake Grout kind of having some issues up there moving the second lane. This is a track where that's very bottom dominant. You're going to see some moves being made here by drivers to try to keep that inside lane at all costs.
And we do have telemetry with these cars as well tonight as the 2 of Muller continues to hold this lead. Now has 10 laps led crossing that stripe. But this 2 car on borrowed time, the 18 seems to be running that outside 118 of Jake Sylvia a little bit faster, half a lane up.
And a fastest lap of the race so far is that 72 car, Ryan Kuhn. He's making his way around that 4 machine of Brandon Elvis right now for that 9th position. He should get that spot pretty quickly. A little further up the road, battle for 3rd is on. Aaron Johnson has passed William Hale. 62 let him by there. Not too much difficulty, and now Sylvia is trying to peek to the outside of Tyler Muller up there. He's doing everything he can to try to get a run and get the inside out of a corner, but he just hasn't been able to do it yet. That 2 car is doing a great job of defending the bottom as Sylvia tries to work a little bit higher.
That's what I'm noticing is that outside for the 118 is a little bit better. He did get a decent run off of 2, but not able to complete it. Now off of 4 to the door again. Man, they should respect what Jake Sylvia is doing right now on this outer line. I haven't seen anybody else pulling it off.
Well, the issue for him now is he's stuck on the outside of that Aaron Johnson 78 car loop in the bottom there through 3 and 4. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold that 78 car off. We've seen Aaron Johnson consistently run at the front of the field in these races, and we've also seen him consistently have issues right at the end of a race that take him out of it. He needs a good result tonight. He wants a win tonight to send his season in the right direction, and he's clear of Jake Sylvia for P2 with his sights set on Tyler Muller now for the lead of this race.
And I want to apologize. I was a little off there. It was William Hale, I believe, that actually had the points lead when I misspoke there at the start of this race. So that was actually the driver that I was aiming for. Got a little bit confused. You're watching on board there with the 78 machine as he holds on back and forth for second.
Working that wheel, you can see how focused he is, not blinking at all in that 78 car as he gets right up to the bumper and maybe gives a little bit of contact there to the 2 car of Tyler Muller. Jake Sylvia is doing a really good job to run this top lane, and he might actually be even with the 2 this time, going down into 1. Contact between those 2, and they'll both make it out clean, but Tyler Muller gets the clear advantage.
Continues to pinch down. Doesn't want to let that 2 car get the momentum off the corner. That's what's making this line work, but man, is he hugging that right side. And we've already seen it at the start of this race. This guy, how back can this go if that 118 pinches too hard?
I'm looking at how wide Jake Sylvia is running on entry to these corners. He's almost up on the dirt here, trying to get as much grip as he can down into 3 and 4. Really working that top line, but he's a little loose there. The car steps out on him. That might give the spot to Aaron Johnson. Maybe? No, he's still not clear. Stuck behind that 2 car of Muller. I think he might be able to get away if he was faster. Right now, he just isn't. And coming up in the mirror, you've got William Hale and Alex Grates quickly joining this battle from behind. Same with Ryan Kuhn, who driven up to 6th.
As these leaders continue to battle, you're going to have more and more of this field start to accordion back together. We single filed out relatively quickly. Then the 118 said, I want the lead, and he's using every ounce of the outside line he can, every inch here in this very small 3/8 of a mile speedway. They need to put a little bit more pavement out there for the 118.
And it can be really difficult, particularly at a track like Oxford, where the straightaways here are so short, so you don't really have any time to work the momentum off the top on corner exit. Sylvia is getting pretty much all of his time on corner entry, which is working right now, but it might be overheating those tires. Oh, contact between your top two. Muller sideways, and Jake Sylvia is going to get right back into this fight. It looked like he was falling out of it, not anymore. He might be burning up those tires, though, and on a 125-degree racetrack, it could come back to bite him by the end of this run.
Watching on board with Ryan Kuhn, he's been patiently waiting back here for these mistakes, but also running that higher line. And it looks like the outside's starting to come into its own. How far do these drivers want to push it? We're double file all the way back to 5th.
Oh, the 2 car is so loose. George Sylvia again there. He'll get clear for the lead, but that 118 is not letting him go. And the 2 is really starting to struggle down here. As you can see Sylvia pinching the 78 of Aaron Johnson down for everything he has to try to keep that car on the bottom. But it's just not working. And for the first time in the last, it seems like about 15 laps now, your top 2 are going to get clear of Sylvia. It's now William Hale up on the bottom for 3rd.
So
Rewind
anxious to see
back
as
here.
we got 3 wide. I thought Sylvia maybe took that one a little bit too deep. Still 3 wide with the 0 in the middle.
Step 0 car of Alex Grates there in the middle. Sylvia on the top. You've got Tanner Berge on the bottom trying to make it work. We'll see who gets the spot here. It looks like Grates will get ahead of Sylvia, but he is continuing to push as high as he can on that 3rd lane to make any time. Meanwhile, the car that was in the position Jake Sylvia was in, is Ryan Kuhn. He was 3rd at the line last time around, and as he tries to work around William Hale and Aaron Johnson on the top, that 72 is on a mission to get to the front of the field.
Working it really well. Is going to gain a little bit here on the 78, get to the outside. Again, we go back to that track temperature, 37 laps in. These guys have got to be feeling it. And that 2 car is starting to lose ground. Very loose off of turn 2 or off of 4. This could be the opportunity for Ryan Kuhn to take the lead. Not yet.
Aaron Johnson's got to find something to get his way around this 2 car because he has been riding the inside and it just has not been working. I think he is a little faster, but he can't get the exit he wants off the corner because the 2 is super prone to getting loose on exit and hurting the run of that 78 car. We got a couple cars really loose. If you look a little further back, Jake Brown has almost spun it about 5 times working on the top line. He's at the tail end of this battle, and he is struggling on these tires. I imagine a lot of drivers are feeling about the same way he is right now, as we're still side by side for the lead.
I can hear a little bit of race chatter there in the background, actually. Some of these guys starting to get a little bit irritated with the way this thing is handling, and that racetrack is going to continue to get worse.
It is, but Ryan Kuhn right now is looking to take the lead. He's not quite clear yet, but it looks like he might be this time off of 4. 72 of Ryan Kuhn, your new race leader here at Oxford Plains. He's not quite clear of Muller yet, but Muller is way loose out of the corner. So is Kuhn, but he'll be able to get down to the inside and take the lead.
And you got the rest of these guys still trying to sort it out for the top 5. William Hale, Tanner Berge, Corey Bodie, side by side, the 35, the 44. It's going to continue.
Dominating run right now for that 72 car of Ryan Kuhn, but we are still side by side with Alex Grates in that 0. Working on the top line, William Hale, Tanner Berge, and Corey Bodie right behind him there. You can see Jake Grout almost fishtailing into the dirt as he continues to try to find that third lane, and it's just not really working for him at the moment. Grace tries to run that top with Bodie down on the bottom. I was going to say he might have been battled for second. Aaron Johnson thought about a dive, but backed out. We continue to work right now in this battle for P5 with Bodie, with Greats, and then it's Burgee and Jake Grout, and the caution has flown further back in the field potentially. Let's see what this one was about, because I am not sure. Get word on that from race control here shortly. The caution has flown on lap 46. Replay here. This is a little further back. It's the 26 car of Frank Barbary. Maybe having an issue back here. He's rolling right behind that 11 car of Colby Luca towards the back of the field. And yeah, it doesn't seem like anything back there. We're going to get some word here from race control on what this caution is for. But on lap 50, we are under yellow here at Oxford Plains.
Some of these drivers already coming in to top off with a little bit of fuel, and Jake Sylvia looking for a 4-tire change. Do have 2 tire sets, one on the car and one in the pits. So you're approaching that halfway point. Why not? If you're the 118, you've been pretty good on the outside. Maybe this is the advantage you needed.
That is the advantage these cars might need here. So we are gonna announce the winner of our $20 paint scheme contest here under this caution. I believe the admins have voted, and I have to say I agree with their vote. Bradley, you can let me know. My money's on that 00 of Alex Greats.
There you go. Does that settle it? Is that official?
I think that is. The admins told me that they were voting for Greats, and so I will vote for Greats because I agree with them, and I'm assuming he will get that $20 prize after tonight's race. Ryan Kuhn will roll off on the front row here because the lights on the pace car are out this time, and it'll be Moeller on the outside. Green flag's out. Good jump for Kuhn. He's off as Moeller is turbo loose.
A lot of wheel spin there for the 2. Moeller held on to it. What a handful this car has become in just 50 laps. Imagine another 100.
That 2 car is struggling, but this is what Aaron Johnson needs because he's finally able to get up the inside of that 2 machine, make that pass for second, get that spot that he's been trying to get for about 30 laps now. William Hale now will make the look for third behind him. Alex Grace fourth on that inside as Bodie and Moeller. Oh, contact!
Oh, heavy
Moeller
contact.
is loose. He's going to save it. Kind of came down on the nose of William Hale there, but no harm, no foul. Hale will keep pushing for third.
On board with Hale, they're leaning on each other's doors. They're still leaning on each other over the curb. The 2's around. Into the sand trap.
Way off the racetrack there. That's the problem with this track not having a wall, is if you go wide, you can go way wide off into the dirt, like the 2 did right there. We're going to drivertees.com replay here. What happened to the 2 car? Contact from the 44 of Bodie behind just sent him through the dirt. Doing a little bit of off-roading there in that super late model. Oh, car around up front. William Hale turned by the 0 of Alex Greats. He's got it saved. No, he doesn't. He's around in front of the field. Contact with the 88 and the 85. Aaron Harden involved. Brad Carpenter is up on a pole. Looks like Jake Grout, Corey Bodie have also gone around down here.
Hale not looking too happy with that as well.
I can't imagine he would be there. It was some contact that sent that 62 car around. He tried his best to save it, but he just couldn't gather it up. You'll see it here. It's off the bumper of this 0 car of Greats. Just gets into the back at 62. He gets loose. He tries to save it, and then I think there's some contact with Jake Grout there. puts him sideways in front of the field. Most cars are able to avoid, but there are a couple others kind of get stacked up in that. Most notably, Jake Sylvia, who took a pretty hard lick there and sent Brad Carpenter into a pole. We'll see that here. Carpenter up the ramp.
Lucky Carpenter able to get off of that dirt mound. Watch it one more time on board. Just gets sent, nowhere to go. Hold the brakes and pray.
Yeah, he was trying to turn it back right, but he still had Sylvia out of control there. You can see him kind of panic at the last minute and try to dodge that mound to the left, and it worked for the most part. He didn't go straight into the pole, but he will take a little bit of damage repair, take some tires, and he'll get that car back out on the racetrack. I'm going to talk real quick about a special event race we have coming up here in just about 2.5 weeks in the Misfit Racing League. It's the Kinetic 250. We're going to be running 250 laps, the late models at 5 flags. It'll be an open setup race, $10 to enter, $250 to win. If you're interested, as always, racemrl.com, and they'll get you signed up for that. Back rolling now, off the jump, it'll be the 72, Orion Kuhn.
Great restart there on the inside, and that lane choose a bottom dominant racetrack. I'm probably going to choose the left side every time on the restart, but now you got to defend. The 78 has been the consistent one up here in this top 3, and Aaron Johnston just waiting for his time to get around the 72, who passed on the outside. He did what Jake Sylvia was trying to do earlier in this race, but Sylvia now caught up with some damage. Luck continues for some of these guys.
Tanner Berge now trying to make his way through the field. He's gotten up to 3rd. There's about a little further back there. You see John Leday in the 22 working on the 4 car of Brandon Elvis. That is your new battle for P5 here. After some of those accidents involving cars like William Hale.
Oh, sideways! That's Wiseman. He saved it.
Big lose there for him, and big contact a little further up here between Muller and Brandon Atkinson. They're going at it right now for P9, but they'll both get it straight back out. Wiseman still trying to run the top, but we're seeing cars getting more and more loose up there. Maybe some marbles on that high line hurting some of those high runners.
And outside that top 10, there's Jake Sylvia in 15th position, Corey Bodie. A lot of these guys, big names in the top 10 in points, having struggles here tonight. Partial to the invert, I think, here, Sky, but also you got the scenario with that mid-race caution. We're about a third of the way through this event. They kind of shuffled this field around.
Yeah, some of these cautions here are really causing mix-ups. We've seen a couple cars in the pits here for fuel as well, just kind of quick top-up stops. See if that plays a role in the finish of this race. Ryan Kuhn is out front. Aaron Johnson's actually doing a pretty good job of holding steady with that 72 car right here. It's a second gap back to Berge, but Johnson has not left the bumper of Ryan Kuhn. And right now, this is looking like it's going to be the battle for the win of the race, with William Hale and Corey Bodie both trapped far back in the field.
We got a car sideways there for a moment. I think it was Jake Grout. Way out of the line here. Now a little offset 3 wide through 3 and 4. Not sure what happened to Grout. We're going to take a look back here.
He's been loose on that top line all race. I would not be surprised if he just had a big step out rolling on that high side, as he has had a couple of times tonight.
Oh man,
Barely
he
out of the wall
torqued
there.
the chassis a little bit there, made it leave the ground.
Yeah, he's been working this high side all night, and he's been getting loose here a couple times over the course of this race.
Oh,
we got a
trouble,
crash.
big wreck. Big
Yep,
wreck
that
at
is the
3.
2 of Tyler Muller around in front of the field, along with Brandon Elvis.
Brad Carpenter also involved as a side effect there.
I would say Muller got the worst of that for sure. We'll see it when we hit that drivertees.com replay. A couple cars taking some damage here. You'll see the 2 of Muller on the bottom running behind the 4 of Brandon Elvis, and he just gets into the back of him, and then it kind of stacks up from there. That is Christian Peterson getting into that 2 car of Muller. They're both around, and then kind of some residual hits there. Brad Carpenter going around behind it. Just stack ups all through the field. This is an interesting POV because he gets, big hit to the rear end there. Honestly, looked maybe like a bit of netcode from that 26 car of Frank Barbary that caused that liftoff. See it? You'll see it? Yeah, maybe a bit of netcode there between those two. Sends up in that 31 around and the 26 doing some off-roading as we approach halfway through this race.
This is at the tail end of the field back here. Just nowhere to go. It happens so quickly. Again, you're constantly turning left here, Sky, so when you're trying to set the wheel and set your corner, it goes against your instinct to turn this car even just straight. It almost breaks the line, and you can't get a good entry into the corner. So with a curb, you don't want to cut it too soon, but you don't want to cut it too late because then you go off into a field and you hit a fence. There's an invisible boundary out there you don't want to find.
Yeah, this track with its high curbs and no wall can be treacherous. For a lot of these drivers out here in the field, we're going to extend this green flag by 1 lap. Got some cars a lap down here. William Hale, Frank Barbary, Aaron Harden, Brandon Elvis, all 1 down. Your only DNF so far, Dylan Delaney in the 88. And we have seen a lot of cars come down pit road, some of which here, including some of your leaders, Christian Peterson, Corey Bodie, Brandon Atkinson, all coming down, putting some tires on that race car, so that's something to watch. I believe, we'll see if they took 2 or 4. Atkinson took 2 right sides in that car, and it seems to be right sides all around here for these drivers in the pit lane. That'll be something to watch. The green flag flies once again for Ryan Kuhn.
Yeah, Delaney, an early exit here. It was lap 1 from the pole. You've got 17 on down, a lap down or more. And with these cars getting damaged, I think we haven't seen the end of it, Sky.
No, we're just over halfway through this race now. We've seen some good green flag running, but also some pretty serious accidents here over the course of this race, and we're dooring each other for P4 as I say that. Matthew Knott and John Ledet are doing battle for that position at the moment. The 82 of Matthew Knott will hold that spot, and the 0 of Alex Grates will try to fight his way through as we're 3 wide behind him. That is Christian Peterson, that is Corey Bodie getting
44.
turned into Aiden Grates. Caution is out with the accident.
Lap 80 for another one here. 5 cautions now. Seems like it's getting a little bit unsettled with some of these drivers that were having success early in this race. Bodie started in 20th and worked his way up to the top 10, trying to get back there. Heavy damage on the 44. He's coming down pit road.
Yeah, that is Bodie around off the nose here of Michael Wiseman. See it on the replay. There was some contact above Bodie that sent him around there, because you can see this one car gets into the 27 and kind of gets bounced down the racetrack into Bodie. Then it stacks up. Big damage for the 44. Big damage for Jake Grout. Might be a day ender for both of those cars. Both cars who are up front in points and who have had great years. Looks like Jake Grout's made it out okay, but Corey Bodie, that's huge for that 44 car. He might be done. And 2 EOL penalties will be given out here. Michael Wiseman, Aiden Grates as well for their roles in that accident, so they will go to the back of this race. We still have 6 cars out who have not pit yet. Everybody's come down for tires, including Peterson and Sylvia this lap, but your top 6, Ryan Kuhn, Aaron Johnson, Tanner Berge, Matthew Knott, Alex Grates, John Ledet, and 10th place, Tyler Muller, are all still out on the rubber they started the race with. You only get 1 change of tires, so you got to make it count. We'll see if the drivers who came down for 2, like Atkinson, Carpenter, and Grout, are able to get their way back up to the field here with a green flag run, or if those top 6 will prevail.
You'll get used to the tempo here, Sky. It's so quick on the cautions. I'm used to having a mile to talk about it.
Yeah, we got some quick cautions here, but that's better because it means we get some good racing. Pace car will pull off into the pits. Once again, it's Ryan Kuhn on the front row as he takes the green flag. Aaron Johnson immediately drops down behind him.
Johnson consistently in this second position, just waiting on Ryan Kuhn to make a mistake. And then behind him, it's a hornet's nest with Brandon Atkinson side by side there for a moment. Now it's the 61 of Jake Grout to the inside, the 82 of Matthew Knott, not holding that higher line. Not very many of these guys have successfully done this yet tonight, as you watch Muller on the recovery up to 7th.
Oh, Matthew Knott contact from behind there with John Leday. Nearly went around, but he made a good save to keep that thing straight. I was about to say, Jake Grout on the inside, are you kidding me? Well, he's immediately pulled it back up to the outside, so that didn't last very long. He's been working that high line all race, driving that thing on the very edge of control, and right now he's working on Tyler Muller
off the track,
for that
Michael
6th
Wiseman.
position. Yes,
Sorry.
he is. Wiseman way off the road.
Happens so fast around here. Let's take it back one more time. DriversTees.com. Instant replay. Way up the racetrack. Touches a little bit of dirt. Different kind of late model. Not engineered for that.
Keeps it straight, though. He'll lose some positions, but no harm, no foul. He'll keep it rolling here tonight. Jake Grout is doing what we saw Sylvia doing earlier, where he just runs all the way up to the very edge of the pavement here on these exits to try and get, or on these entrances, to try to get anything he can. He's loose, though, and it doesn't really seem to be working as he's losing time to the damaged 31 car of Brad Carpenter on the bottom.
Jake Sylvia back into the picture as well. Now back into the top 10. We had debated on that pit stop, and I know a little bit of damage on this 118 probably was the original reason, but why not come in and take at least right sides? That seems to be the call so far. 92 laps in, just over 50 to go.
Yeah, there are certain tracks that you can make left sides work here, but it's right sides only tonight at Oxford. You see drivers continue to do battle back here. You're looking from the rear bumper of Ryan Kuhn back at Aaron Johnson, who's held pretty steady to that 72 car, but he's getting a little bit smaller in that bumper cam. As Ryan Kuhn in 72 tries to pull away, and we're racing hard for the back. Got that 27 car, you've got Wiseman, and you've got the 11. We're 3 wide further up the field, too, here. Jake Sylvia, you see it there. Brandon Elvis and Jake Grout have a score to settle. Grout is trying to run that outside lane. We're 3 wide for another corner. And the 61 will finally have to concede there. He's not able to hold that top line. Elvis and Sylvia clear of that spot. Oh, Grout, drift it, save it. An immediate replay on what happened there to Jake Grout. He's been loose all night in basically every corner, and this is the newest example, running it like he's a sprint car, just rolling the cushion there, and keeps it saved. Gonna lose some spots, but it could have been a lot worse.
That's a lot of wheel. That's the first time we've seen anybody turn right.
Yeah, that's exactly how you drive a sprint car around here. Oh, car around 2 of Tyler Muller. And
Again.
there goes John Leday, and we've got to stack up into the grass, and the 2 is over. Oh, my goodness. Just caught the dirt there and rolled it. I have never seen that before.
And used up a little bit here.
Yeah. We'll get an immediate replay here. This is off the nose of Sylvia. He's already loose, and Sylvia doesn't help that. And then you see Leday around off the 82 of Knott. And there goes Tyler Muller.
Interesting physics here on iRacing sometimes. Let's see if we can get a look at the 22. He had problems after the fact.
It's just that slight decline from the top of the banking over the wall, combined with the hits there from the 82 and the 22, and the 2 cars over. And yeah, you see some issues there for John Leday after the accident.
And still making contact with cars, going to use the curb to exit pit road. not making any friends today. If you're
Nope,
John Leday.
Sent Barbary around and then issues off pit road as well. So not a good couple of laps for John Leday. Bad doors for that car, but your leaders have pit. That includes Ryan Kuhn, Alex Grates, Aaron Johnson all in the pits. And Aaron Johnson, by the way, out ahead of Ryan Kuhn in that car.
72 that's been in front of him all race long. The 78 hasn't really had the opportunity of clean air to show the speed. So I'm interested to see with these fresh tires if the 78 and 72 work their way back up through here. I'm going to venture to say that Aaron Johnson stays on the bottom. He could pull away with this race.
That'll certainly be the play here. You want to make him pass you on that high side. We'll do one more lap under caution here before we get back moving. And it'll be a new look front row here with some pit strategy being played. 3 cars stayed out. They are Brandon Atkinson up front. Colby Luca will go from the outside of the front row, and it'll be Michael Wiseman in third. Brad Carpenter fourth. Then Aaron Johnson. Then your dominant car all night, Ryan Kuhn. New driver on the front row as we head out of 4. Brandon Atkinson takes the green.
Rewind already into turn 1. 31 stuck in the middle. Brad Carpenter holding on to it. Double zero Grates down to the bottom. Gonna get a 2-for-1 special here with the 35. He will.
Almost 3 wide again. Oh, there goes the 11 car. That is Colby Luca around. Big wreck. Caution has flown. Big punts off into the dirt there for the 82 of Matthew Knott. Looks like pretty heavy contact for Leday, for Carpenter. Aaron Harden caught up in that one as well. Take a quick look back at this one right here. See where this happens for the 11 of Colby Luca. This gets tapped around there, it looked like, and yeah, the 82 almost flipped as well here. Look at that. Just got tapped around for the 11 off the nose of the 35 car back here of Tanner Berge, and that caused a big stack up.
Well, we do have side-by-side here, so we're going to try to help RaceMRL.com in the Hyper Summer Series. Pay some bills. You are watching Summer Series presented here on V-Speed. More coverage right after this. To Josh Adams.
Back live here on V-Speed. You saw the restart for Brandon Atkinson, who immediately takes some contact from Ryan Kuhn. Huge stack up, and as soon as we come back, Kuhn is into the outside wall and over. And that driver who led so much of tonight's race is done.
Out up against the catch fence, could not get that car back on 4 wheels. The Hoosiers facing the sunlight, usually not a good sign, and these late models back this up a little bit.
Yeah, this goes back even further here, but you see that 19 around in front of the field, and Kuhn off the nose there of Wiseman after his roll in that accident and just gets stacked up against the wall. He gets into the 19 here gets the 19 way loose on entry, stacks Kuhn up, stacks the 0 of Greats up, and everybody's all slow, and it's just kind of a domino effect back from there until the wreck starts.
And against the wall as well. Can't go anywhere. 19 not able to get going. Atkinson, a little bit older tires than the rest of these guys. He actually had a little bit of a struggle there on the restart as well.
Wasn't a good restart for him, no, and he is going to get an EOL. He'll be in the pits anyway, trying to fix this damage, so that might be the end of Brandon Atkinson's night as well. Ryan Kuhn could try to get it out here, but he is going to be 3 laps down, and he has no shot of winning this race. So the dominant car, my pick to win, is done. And it'll be a new look up front. Aaron Johnson doesn't have a win this season. In fact, both of his races so far this year in the Hyper Summer Series have gone disastrously wrong. But tonight is his chance to try to get up on the front row and get one done. On his outside will be the 62 car of William Hale, your points leader. And as the pace car pulls off, we'll see who prevails. Green flag, back out.
And you saw what a handful it was right out of the gate. That whole shot down the front stretch. You're already putting wheel into it to set up turn 1. Johnson going to pull away a little bit here. Has an advantage with those two running side by side. There's Greats on the bottom.
They are. That is a great run for that 0 car of Alex Greats. Gets it done right there over William Hale in the 62 car. Christian Peterson, next car back in line in 4th as we're back single file here on the bottom for these drivers. You're looking at Alex Greats right there, and the caution is out. We got a stack up further back. Jake Sylvia is wrecked pretty hard. Michael Wiseman is totaled. Oh, we were 4 wide for a second there. That would be what triggered this incident involving Jake Sylvia. That is a huge hit. His day is absolutely done. We'll take it back a little further here, and you can see what led up to all of this contact involving Wiseman and Sylvia. You can see some contact with Sylvia and the 4 car of Brandon Elvis. Giant hits for both of those drivers.
Sylvia with that nose damage, not able to get quite the drive off the outside as it was before. The 4 car able to avoid most of this, but the 1 pretty much done for the day.
And back in real time, Michael Wiseman has just crashed into a pole. He was trying to get this car back around to the pits, but he can't really turn it left, notably because he does not have a right front tire on the car. And he's gotten it stuck up there. He's going to need to tow. He's trying to get it out. He's full throttle on the gas. It won't work. He'll have to tow back to the pits. Get a quick replay of that. There you go. He spent a while trying to floor that thing to get it off, and it just was not happening. You said it earlier this race. Beached on that pole. So we're losing contenders for the lead pretty rapidly here. Down to 12 cars on the lead lap. Brandon Elvis, Jake Sylvia are the last 2, as now Wiseman is out of contention as well tonight. With Bodie Kuhn out of the race, it's Aaron Johnson and Alex Greats looking to take advantage. Pace car once again off at a 4, and on lap 1, 2, 3 will be green for the 78. Good jump for him. We're side by side behind there with Greats and William Hale. Hale doing the exact same thing Greats did to him on that last restart, using that 3rd position to jump the car on the outside and immediately make the move. It worked for the 0 car last time. It'll work for Hale this time. He'll get that spot. As we're looking a little further back in the field right now, you got the 2 car of Muller. We're on board with Colby Luca in the 11. Running a little higher up the racetrack here, trying to see what that car can do as he recovers from an accident. Real tight up front here for 3rd. It's Christian Peterson, it's Alex Greats who continues to go backwards on that top. And the white 35 at Tanner Berge is back up into it.
I'm looking at the stints on the tires and the pit stops, and some of this is a little bit obscured by the fact that, you know, we have 2 tires, we have 4 tires. We have guys that came in to top off or guys that just came in for damage. And that's kind of throwing these numbers all over the place. The 31 saving it down the front stretch. Carpenter towards the pit wall.
Good thing to avoid an accident there. If you get loose like that in the corners, you're going into a pole pretty hard. So he keeps it straight, keeps it out of that. Gathers it back up front. Bergie has gotten up to 3rd right now. Peterson is now the car on the outside trying to work on Grates. It's a role reversal, but the inside will still prevail, and Alex Grates will take 4th.
Settling down a little bit here, Sky. I don't know.
We
Kinda
might
weird.
be. We've got a couple less cars, is what I'm trying to say, up here on the lead lap, which might have played a role in this, but we've still got some tight battles all over the track. This would be huge for Aaron Johnson if he got this win done. Finished 19th after an accident at 5 Flags when he was running up front pretty much all race. Finished 16th out of 21 at IRP, again after an accident when he had been running up front pretty much all race. This is not only the first time he's actually gotten the lead laps this season, first time he looks like he might be able to get a win this season, and what a recovery that would be from these disastrous first 2 weeks to get one done at Oxford.
Watching back here with Colby Luca hanging on to the edge of the top 10, but has hemorrhaged quite a few positions as we ride on board. There's the driver camera with the number 11. And I'm kind of interested to see if it's because maybe 74 laps on the stint for these tires. That's 3/4 of what we've drove, roughly. Just shy of that.
Yeah, and for some of these drivers who were on that earlier pit strategy, like Colby Luca, they've gone even further on this tire set than the drivers up front, which means their rubber is really starting to wear. And you're seeing some of them really start to struggle here for grip on this racetrack. As we're heading down, 16 to go this time. The battle is closing up for P2 as Johnson continues to get away. We're seeing a little bit of a gap shrink from Hale to Bergie to Grates back here. Maybe Christian Peterson could join this fight in a second as well as we take 14 to go.
Also a battle shaping up back there with John Leday and Jake Grout. This is for the 6th position. Kind of broke off into some tandem racing. 2 different battles even behind that with Harden and Elvis.
They'll do that battle. Meanwhile, Christian Peterson has gotten passed by a lap car. This is the battle between Harden and Elvis for this position. We'll look a little bit further back up because Leday and Grout are still double file back here for the 6th spot in line. Grout, I don't think he's really left that high side all day. He loves running it all the way to the top, and you've seen that so far in this race. He's made it work when almost no one else can. He's driving 6, trying to squeeze that 22 car down to get the run off the corner and get the run into the next corner, which is a little more important here.
A little lock up on the brakes there to set the nose. I like it. Kind of like driving a cart to just grab that front end and pull it down to the bottom of the racetrack. Unfortunately for the 22 of Leday, he was the one that prevented that curve from hitting the 61. I think it was a little bit too much of a lockup. And the battle for 3rd is hot as well, with actually 2nd position William Hale. They're fighting back and forth as they watch Johnson pull away.
Under 10 to go now, and the battle for 2nd is getting good, like you said. William Hale and Tanner Bergie is trying to run that top. Bergie's been up there running high all race here, all run here especially. He's been trying to make that 35 work, and he punts the 62 of Hale. Big contact to the bumper, more contact, we're still not done. Bergie finally moves William Hale out of the way, but I doubt the 62 is going to appreciate that. He'll pull right back into line and go right back into the bottom. The switchback is on for William Hale.
A lot of contact. That short track racing at its best as we approach 5 to go. They're not done for 2nd, and you can throw the 0 of Grates into that as well as they go over the curb.
backdooring each other for position into and out of the corner. And you said it, here comes Alex Greats, taking advantage of these two beating and banging to try to get himself a slot on the podium here as William Hale continues to manage that 35 car. Tanner Berge up there for third, trying to get him on the outside. While these two battle, Aaron Johnson's pulled out a 4-second lead, so he is going to have this race won, barring an incident, and we're watching this battle back here. Contact between Greats and Berge as he continues to work, and he is going to get back into the rear of the 62. William Hale cannot get away from this contact, and we're still door-to-door through 1 and 2.
Johnson knows what's happening back here. He's continuing to pull away. Last time by almost a full second faster as these guys fight it out for a podium.
Well, I'm sure Johnson would maybe like a little bit less contact in this battle because he doesn't want to see a caution come out. And with these two racing so hard side by side, that might be what you get. The 35 almost hooks the 62 off the turn, and that opens the door for the 0 of Alex Greats right to the bottom on William Hale. So he is going to be in a role reversal. Instead of defending on the inside, he's trying to make the move on the top. And as we come around, it's the white flag. Big hit for Berge, gets them both loose. He'll take third. Hale's now going to try to get around him for P3. But as we look up front here, coming out of turn 4, Aaron Johnson will take the win at Oxford. And in the battle for second, Alex Greats is going to get it. And William Hale is not happy with the 35. They have just gone full throttle into the mulch. Aaron Johnson, your winner here tonight, led in dominating fashion, got a 6-second lead in that second run after the tight battle between those cars for P2. And he gets the win for the first time this season, leading 40 laps on his way there.
Well, that's the luck reversal that you might just need here on week number 3 to turn this season around. They're going to park it perfectly in victory lane. Nicely done.
Big, big win for that 78 car, and now, there you go. He'll get to do his burnouts on the front straightaway after taking the win here tonight at Oxford.
Post-race coverage and interviews with your top 3. Sky Shrek Bradley Cooper up here. RaceMRL.com and the Hyper Summer Series. More coverage will continue from Oxford right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Nunez.
We're back.
We
We're back
are-
here at.
We are back
Fights.
here at Oxford. We'll get the results up here for your race tonight. And it's going to be your race winner, the 78 of Aaron Johnson, with Alex Grates taking P2 and Tanner Berge P3. William Hale takes it home 4th tonight with Peterson 5th, Jake Grout 6th, John Lede gets up to 7th, Brandon Elvis 8th, Aaron Harden 9th, and Brad Carpenter in 10th.
Sorry about the miscommunication there. We had some throwdowns in the infield here tonight. Some guys not very happy with the results of this one, but Colby Luca is going to go to 11th position after starting 17th. Jake Zoya never able to get the 118 back to the top 10 to finish this one out. 12th position, Aiden Grates will finish in 13th with Frank Barry, I believe I'm saying that one right, on 14th position. Matthew Knott 15th. Tyler Muller, an early exit there, I believe, 5 laps down. 17th position to Michael Wiseman. And then it's Brandon Atkinson, Ryan Kuhn, Corey Bodie, and of course Dylan Delaney was the first one to take an early exit here tonight.
We're going to pull into the booth now. Our winner for tonight's race, that is the 78 car of Aaron Johnson. How you doing, Aaron?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good. First win of the season for you, and it comes after 2 weeks that did not go your way at all. How does it feel?
I think it's finally the monkey's coming off my back, and let's see if we can go get a couple more.
Is it even sweeter to get a win like that when you've had the struggles recently and you're finally able to finish it out?
Yeah, we had a couple rough goings, but at Five Flags, I felt like we had a car to beat, but I got into my teammate, which kind of just messed up everything. Then at IRP, I never even had a shot to even try to race. I just feel like tonight was the night that I could get everything back going on track to maybe go for the championship.
All right, tell me a little about your battle you had with Ryan Kuhn. You didn't make it to the end of this race, but you two were racing hard for a while.
I learned everything about this track from him. So in order to me to either get around him, I had to wait for his mistake. But he's just so good here. He barely makes mistakes.
All right, anyone you want to thank tonight?
I got to thank the guys at RKM. It wasn't for them, we wouldn't be sitting in victory lane. Got to thank Corey Bodie for my paint scheme, William Hill, everybody that helps me practice and everything like that. And we'll see if we can do it again here in a couple weeks.
All right, congrats on the win tonight, Aaron Johnson.
Appreciate it.
We are going to throw it over to Bradley now. He is going to be standing by with your second place finisher tonight. That is the 000 of Alex Grates.
Yes, I have caught up with Alex Grates, and Alex probably got the most patriotic, but I think you had more paint than you originally started this race with. Those last few laps, you seized an opportunity to go from 4th to 2nd and traded a lot of right front fender to get there.
Yeah, no, it got really physical up there between Tanner and William, and I saw an opportunity there. I'm like, I just got to keep hitting my marks and get there, because when they get side by side like that, they slow down a lot, and it gave me the opportunity to get inside of, I think it was William there, and end up capitalizing and getting up to 2nd. Honestly, I don't think I had a 2nd place car at the end of there. I was really tight. Like, I was probably a 10th slower than the guys in front of me, but the battle, gave me the opportunity to get up there.
Alex, I saw I got really populated there in the waiting for transfer room. Words exchange, anything maybe you want to disclose for us post-race?
Mainly between Tanner and William. William understood when I got into him big time there. It was with a little bit of help. But Tanner and William were not happy with each other after that. Obviously lots of contact there, not only rear bumper, but also doors, fenders. Basically the whole race car is being used to move the other drivers out of the way.
Well, thankfully, Alex, we have 2 weeks to forget about it, and we'll go on to next week here in week number 4. Is there anybody you want to shout out real quick while we have you on cam?
Of course, RKM Setup Shop, 17 Media, my design company, Alex's Aerial Excavation Services, and just all of Team RKM for helping out and pitching in, testing the setup, getting it all good. And of course, Kyle Adams for hosting the league, and you guys for broadcasting.
Thank you very much, Alex. And we look forward to next week or 2 weeks from now as we move on through this season here for Hyper.
I appreciate it.
Well, there you go. Second place finisher, Alex Greats. And finally, we bring it to our third place finisher. Sky Shrek has caught up with Tanner Bird.
Yeah, we're going to give him a second. Hey, Tanner, how you doing?
You talking to me? I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I think we've got to start with the obvious here, which was tell us a little bit about your last lap or your last 10 laps battle there with William Hale and Alex Greats.
I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good race, you know, just a little bumps. No one got wrecked, but apparently Mr. Hale did not feel the same. I don't know. I thought it'd be a good one for the fans.
We saw you trying different lines tonight. You were running the inside. You were running the outside for a while as well. Was that outside working here tonight?
It was working. It just wasn't working quite good enough, and I didn't want to have to use the bumper, but that's just Oxford Plains. That's just the track. So the bumper did come out, but no harm, no foul.
Is this track a little more tiring than some other short tracks when you've got to use the wheel so much around here and you don't really get those brakes on the straightaways?
No, it's not really more tiring. It's just kind of boring. You're just turning the whole time. I don't even think I got full throttle the entire race, so that's a little lame, but hoping to go some bigger, faster tracks in the future.
All right, well, we've got some coming up here for the rest of the season. I believe we're rolling Thompson in not too long, so you'll have some bigger ones for you. Anyone you want to thank tonight?
Really just want to thank Sharp Design Co. and Factory PD for getting this thing dialed in for me.
All right, congrats on third place tonight, Tanner Burgee.
Thank you.
Looking ahead now from our race tonight at Five Flags to 2 weeks from now, where we will be at the Las Vegas Bull Ring on July 20th. Same time as always, same place right here on V-Speed, and we'll have that race for you as we head down to the end of the season. Any final thoughts, Bradley?
Well, the Bull Ring, yeah, if you thought this track was small, it doesn't get much smaller. The track out there in Las Vegas and the desert heat, it was hot out here tonight. The sun's going to be beating down on this one, I'm sure, as well. And these guys, they get 2 weeks to forget about it, but I don't think that's going to be enough time as we go on July 20th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And, well, Sky, you got the details on it. We'll plug it one more time before we let them go.
Yeah, we've got the Kinetic 250 coming up here 4 days after that race at the Bull Ring, July 24th, 2025. 250 laps in the late models, open setups. It'll be at Five Flags. $10 entry. It's a minimum of 250 or 2,500 I rating, excuse me. 250 would be a little low. 2,500. You get 250 if you win, 100 if you're second, 50 if you're third. So come on out for that one. racemrl.com will be the website you want to go to if you are interested in signing up. That'll conclude our coverage here tonight from Oxford Plains. For myself and Bradley up here in the booth, for everyone at V-Speed and the Misfit Racing League, this has been the Hyper Summer Series at Oxford. Have a good night.